Raceway Cup Series. Alexander Ned here, joined in the booth by Will, and it's an exciting race. Last week we were talking about $1 million. This week you're going to feel like $1 million if you win this race, the Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis. So much history at this racetrack, Will.
Yeah, it is, Alex. Going to see a lot of high-speed maneuvering as some of these guys pilot around. One of the fastest courses on NASCAR Heat 4, almost said 3.
You know, come to think about that, the changes we saw actually from Heat 3 to Heat 4, they're a little bit different when it comes to this speedway. I've noticed that the speeds in NASCAR Heat 3, you were traveling over 180 miles an hour getting into the turns before slowing down. This one, you're about 160. That's about a 15 mile per hour difference, which doesn't sound like much, but that really is a lot as far as you trying to hustle the race car around this racetrack.
Yeah, it can get a little rough at times. These cars, there's a tremendous fall off, as we've already noticed on Heat 4. A lot of these guys run super loose setups, loose is fast, but that's not always the case later, deeper into the run. So we're going to see some cars take off at the point. We're going to see a lot of cars slow down, and a lot of the guys from the back making moves to get up towards the front tonight. It's going to be a really racy surface. Hope we don't see the follow the leader as we did much last year. As we remember Smoke Fan and the 88 coming to a green-white checker for the battle for the win. Yeah, exciting race last year. Hope they set the bar this year.
You're right, and Indianapolis, again, it's considered one of the crown jewel events in all of the Cup Series. First ran here in 1994 by a man named Jeff Gordon. Dale Earnhardt went on to win the second one, and then Dale Jarrett went on to win the third. But as such, each one of those guys that is considered to be one of the greats in the sports have all won here at Indy. Let's see. Let's take you through the quick race settings here for tonight's race. I believe, as we saw with the All-Star race, correct me if I'm wrong there, Will, but we will actually see full damage on these race cars?
Yeah, I do believe these guys are, of course, we're doing 3 times wear. But I do think these guys have implemented damage a couple weeks after the season started, and I think that they're keeping on with that tradition today. We've got a couple newcomers too from the Xbox side. Well, actually one confirmed. We do have Dohar, which is actually JRM Keffer. He's one of his teammates from the Pro League, so we're going to see him make his debut here at the Indianapolis Speedway. He actually ran our Grand National last week and actually fared pretty well, winning a stage and actually almost bringing home the win. I do believe he got a top 3. So I don't know what car he's running tonight, but yeah.
I just read that he'll be in the 40 car for Earnhardt Ganassi Racing. Also, move shuffling for that team is the 42, which I believe I just read that JRM is going to be in that car now.
Oh, okay.
So a little bit of reshuffling here, but all the story is still going to be the same. Who can get a win here at Indy? We're just moments away from getting the green flag. We will give that to you live here on NASCAR Heat 4, but we'll take a quick break real quick as I, to be honest, got to go get water. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I guess while he's gone, we can do the starting lineup here. Let's see here. All right, the starting order for tonight's event will be 17, Fluffy, running some breakneck speeds as always. Then we got on the outside pole, we've got Bags in the number 19 car, had a good run last week. Following up that is Celtics, good qualifying effort by the number 11 car. Then we got 95, the Bear, starting outside row 2. Inside row 3 is Marcus E-Dub, had a good run last night, strong car at Iowa. See if he can continue on with his momentum he's carrying on. Outside of that is Jobs in a 24 car. Inside is the 8, I believe, of Sloppy Joe. Then we have the 42 car, which is now JRM Keffer. Then we've got 21 car of Slade starting on the inside of Max Boost in the 48, row 5. Then behind him we have Dohar. No, actually we have the 88. I believe that may be Pat's ace. Starting in the 88 car. I can't confirm or deny that as of right now. Outside of him, we got DW running the 1 car. Behind him, we have Dohar in the 40, and then we have our last year's Cup champion BC Racer Kid in the number 4 car. Then we have the number 9 car of Justin Mons, J Mons. Outside of him in the 14 car, I'm dropping the ball, guys. I really can't remember that. But 3, we have Workman, the number 43 of Mike RPM, the 22 of Diesel, and then we have the 13 maybe of Galen. Really like to know who's in that 14 car, guys. If you could send me a message.
Oh, it's Jay Hyper in the 14.
Okay, Jay Hyper in the 14 car. Oh, little Jay Hypey.
Some shuffling going on here for the Pocono Raceway Cup Series, but we expect an exciting race once again at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will, who do you like here? Smoke fan, he certainly got it done, but we saw some mistakes last year that actually plagued that driver into the back numerous times. He had to fight his way up to the front. He did not get handed to him last year. I expect a dogfight to the finish once again.
Well, he didn't. If you do recall, he was the cause of the green-white checker, and he did rough a few guys up on the front to actually take the point for that victory. He did have a fast car, though, set on the pole. I think tonight we're going to see those Fords steady strong with the 17 of Fluffy. He's always strong, but, sometimes he's a little fast for his own good. I don't know, man. Bags, he's got a really good starting position on the outside pole. He might be the one to get it done tonight. He's been running up front, and he's had a few mishaps during the race that wasn't on him all the way, but some were his. Look for the number 19 to steal the show tonight.
Historic racetrack, but difficult to set up a race car. What's the winner going to have that the guys that are finishing 2nd through 18th are not?
Basically a good handling car in the draft and speed. Tire wear, everybody's going to be falling off. This track is a true grinder, especially if you're pulling all the speed. A lot of these guys got these cars trimmed out. This is the fast of the fast here on the PlayStation side of Heat 4. So we got a few cars that's really, really fast every week. We got the Baird in the 95 car. He's really fast. Jobs, he's in the 24 car. He gets it done. He brings it home in second a lot, but he continuously has speed on no matter what type of track we're on. I don't know, man. It's really up in the air tonight, guys.
I always believe you got to keep an eye out for the 17 car. Fluffy, he always seems to be a threat no matter what racetrack. You put him on a short track, you put him on a big racetrack like this, you put him on a super speedway, that 17 car is always going to find its way to the front. That's where he is going to start here to try and get that crown jewel event here on PRCS. The invites are out. That means the green flag is just moments away from being handed to us here on NASCAR Heat 4. You're watching the Pocono Raceway Cup Series about to go live at Indianapolis.
As we do always, but this is going to get interesting.
As always, they will take about one lap to truly get up to get in order and to get up to speed. But before then, we shall see each and one of these guys take their starting position, and that'll give us a chance to run through the points. I am actually not quite familiar with who the point leader is. I believe it is the 17 car, but I might be mistaken.
Yeah, no, I've already did while you was away, I've already took care of the old starting lineup and everything. There, Alex and Ed.
Yes. See, I knew I could leave the lobby in good hands.
Big Daddy done got it. Yeah, I sung a little song and dance also. Hate you missed it. But, yeah, we got the 17 actually starting on the point here. Marcus C-Dub in the number 6, he's going to be one to watch out for last night as well. He had a very, very strong car, good run. See if he can carry the momentum over tonight. Bags is starting on the outside. That's going to be my pick for today's race. My dark horse pick, I'm going to have to go with the 24 just because he's always got his nose up front. just somehow he always winds up there, whether it be strategy, speed, or overall ability. So I'm looking for that 24 car to continue the trend and have that thing up front. Who do you got for tonight, Alex?
The 24 car before I get to that, you mentioned not a bad number to have on the side of your race car here. It's the most winningest number in the Cup Series for this racetrack. I don't know. That's when it comes to these crown jewel events, it truly is such a wide open range to pick. You have to have some luck on your side. You have to have a great car that can handle being in the draft. And also, you've got to be able to make some good snap judgments at a moment's notice.
Yeah, this track is definitely a momentum line sensitive track. We're going to see the true comers and goers as we see this quick fall off here tonight. As they're packing them up, getting ready to take the flag right here, coming out of turn 4.
Somebody is going to have a date with the slimiest, oiliest brick they've ever had. But it'll be a great one as the green flag is now in the air. We are racing at Indy.
Got some 17. It looks like he jumped out to a strong lead here as they file in, coming down to turn 1.
Didn't waste no time getting the jump on the inside there. Now side-by-side teammates, slight contact between the 11 and the 19. In fact, the 11 had to back out of it. He's all the way on the apron heading into turn 2. Didn't like the move he made at all, and to get out of harm's way, the 11 car way out of the draft now.
That shows a lot of maturity out of the number 11 Celtics fan as he, it was rough to start on the inside road, second place. That's a great position to start, and get tangled up like that and pull it off to the inside. That shows, great composure on his part. Did not drive it off in there for one, but really a team player.
Fanning out, these guys are going to be snaking down the front stretch there, trying to get the draft to others, trying to get the draft from those that are in front of them, as we see a battle for 5th place heating up. The 24 car, as you mentioned there, Will, taking a look underneath the 6 car. That's Marcus Edub on that outside lane.
Yeah, as we see the guys in the back, I guess when he hit the inside, a lot of people checked up. Oh man, we got the 43 of Mike RPM already on pit road. I don't know if he was sent down pit road or if maybe he already had a flag out issues. He's had some trouble with his internet this week already.
That is trouble for our all-star event winner, Mark RPM. This battle for second, though, heating up. We'll get to that story here in just a second, but let's keep our eyes on the racetrack. It's the 19 car, has a mirror full of the 95. The 6 car almost on the brakes. He had such good momentum heading down the front stretch. Over 180 miles per hour, these guys will fly into turn number 1.
Yeah, did you see that 17 taking a really commanding lead early today? As he gets into the outside wall.
He did. He got into the outside wall. Damage is also on. And now, look, the loss of momentum going to transfer over to the 19, the 95, and the 6 car. Fluffy all the way back to 5th place with that one mistake.
Yeah, that's going to be a big mistake right there. He's going to have to run this whole first green flag run with that damage. I don't know exactly how much damage he occurred right there, but that's a pretty hard lick. Looked like all 4 tires come off the ground.
Definitely will slow you down inside the race car.
Number 17.
And it looks like the 43 car is still on pit road. That would tell me perhaps connectivity issues, internet issues being played out on that 43 car. That is the same, because that car was going to be fast and a factor toward the end of this one.
Yes, he was. We look a little deeper in the field. Bags is on the point here, but we look a little deeper in the field. A lot of these guys aren't really racing. It looks like they're falling behind each other, trying to draft up here to this lead pack. As we're pretty well spread out, as we have Celtics fan again off course. Man, he must have that qualifying set up, tuned in, still on that number 11 Toyota.
Taking a look at our Daytona 500 champion, winner of 1 Crown Jewel event so far, way in the back of the pack, the front stretch. The leader's already approaching turn number 1. He is just exiting turn number 4 right here. And this is one of the lengthiest front straightaways in all on the Cup Series circuit. I believe it's just shy of Pocono by a mere 250 feet. He's way in the back of the pack.
Yeah, keep your eye on at number 17 as he's already working his way back up through the top 5 here.
Oh, trouble! Turn number 1. Celtics fan piles it into the outside wall. Single car incident. Looking like we stay under green. We were on board with the 11 car as he got on the apron. The car turned around and around he went. Major damage to the back end of that FedEx Toyota Camry.
Well, see, that's an issue ongoing here. Remember, I spoke, well, I actually used the weight when I spoke on it, but it's a lot to do with how the car, how free it gets under a draft circumstance. A lot of these guys that you've seen qualify in the top 5 have really trimmed their race car out, which is not the perfect circumstance you want in traffic. Maybe he couldn't get quite the race handle on that car as he expected. Hopefully, number 11 can, make short happenings of the back of the pack and see if he can't get that ride together.
Oh, he crashes getting onto pit road. Now he's got more front end damage. The car backwards. Looks like the computer allowing it to pit. Major front end damage now on the 11 car. It looked like he tried to use the side of pit road to try and slow himself down, but that did not work out for him at all. And it's gone from bad to considerably worse for the 11.
I'm going to tell you something, Alex. That number 19 looks really sporty out front. He's opened up a tremendous lead, probably about a 100-yard lead on the front stretch right now. He's across the stripe heading into turn 1. But that number 17 car has already made his way back up through that top 5 pack right there. See if he can work with that 24, or maybe they can work together and get up here with this number 19.
Another solid driver that we haven't talked about on the point is the 95 of Bear. As you mentioned, when the 17 car made his mistake, 95 was able to get in front of the 19, who's been solidly in second place there. Just slight contact with his teammate to begin the race. Whoa, looks like we got a car off course way in the back of the pack.
Okay, well, I'm an idiot then, because I didn't see the 95 make a move on the 19. But, oh, yeah, hell, he got a hell of a lead stretched out there. The Bear making his comeback to MBN. We didn't see him last week at the All-Star event as he's making his return here at Indy.
So, as we mentioned there, we expected this field to be a little bit strung out. You're just now joining us, maybe late to the broadcast. A couple of issues for a couple of competitors already so far. The 43 car lagging out early on lap number 1. Did not even get a chance to get fully up to speed before we saw a DNF on the 43 screen. And then teammates getting into one another. Into turn number 2, the 11 car, using evasive action, decided not to wreck the rest of the field, which I'm glad he did not. But things going bad to worse for Celtics fan. He is considerably behind the pace. And we see the 47 car on pit road. A couple of guys are making some unscheduled pit stops right here. Now, this is a 2.5-mile racetrack there, Will. You will be able to pit under normal circumstances and not necessarily lose a lap, but these guys are in the back of the pack. This damage, there's got to be a sense of urgency to return back to the lead lap.
Yeah, Alex, I'm muted up. I've got food being delivered here at my dog's apartment, so I'll be back in a second.
Taking a look throughout the rest of the field, you see a couple of competitors already showing signs of their car becoming a handful to handle. Saw the 42 car lose a couple of positions right there. Now we ride on board with Diesel into turn number 3. And some jostling for position up ahead of him. 48 car Watkins Flynn winner. Match push 27, taking a look right behind his teammate, the 9 car. And the 40 making his rookie start. Running along mid-pack right now. That's JRM Gohar, 88.
And we've actually missed an incident as we have the number 3. Looks like he's incurred some front end damage as he's way off the pace of the field here. But yeah, that 40 car is something to keep an eye on. He's a newcomer here to actual the PlayStation side. Is that's Dohar, 88 from the JRM Kepler Stables, the Pro Leaguer.
Riding on board, we're taking a look at some of the front end damage to the 3 car C Workman, and you're right, it does look like he did get in trouble with
green
someone
flag
on the
stops
racetrack.
on the way out.
And it does look like green flag pit stops are underway. A couple of cars, a lot of people are on pit road, including the 19 and the 95. They were your leaders. Now on the backstretch, looks like they're splitting the stage in half there, Will. 12 laps to go, and we have 12 laps in the books.
Yeah, they actually brought the number 6 car of Marcus Edub down, and our actually defending Cup champion here at Pocono MBN Series, BC Racer Kid, as they take those 4 Mr. Feelgoods. Yeah, that's the smartest thing to do, is to cut these stages in half. Nothing feels good better than instead of them 4 new tires on that hot rod, as a lot of these guys, like I said, got these things trimmed out. See if anybody's got any speed for the 17. 17 on fresh tires looks like he's the class of the field for sure.
95, 19, and the 6 car all exit using that access road. They'll be able to blend early on the backstretch, so you'll need to be on the access road through turns 1 and turns 2 before you're allowed to return back to the racing surface. Now it looks like all these guys are going to be on pit road. A full fuel run will be 13 laps. Let's keep that in mind there, Will. And we expect each one of these guys to do 4 tires and Sunoco fuel on every pit stop. Something that we didn't consider about, but we talked about last year, was those that decided to short pit. Do we see a big advantage for those that decided to pit early?
Not really, as you know, those tires. I think splitting the stage in half, I think that's definitely going to be the advantage if that's considered a short pit, I guess, tonight. You really don't want to get caught out there on old tires, and you know, the faster you pit, the faster your tires wear out. So you have to keep that in mind, as it's kind of rough to keep these guys on the actual secondary road here, the access road here at Indy, as I'm keeping an eye on it to make sure we don't, as we do have one car shoot off the access road. I can't figure out who that is. But yeah, we're going to see these guys, as you know, these guys come down through here over 180, 190 miles an hour. It's going to be a key part to the racing tonight.
Looks like everybody of our lead pack was able to get on and off pit road there without penalty. 95 car still taking the lead in front of the 19. Job's in 3rd place right now, having an excellent run. The 17 car, after that earlier issue out of turn 2, has had a clean race so far, but has not been able to capitalize and get back that track position.
No, as we see the 88's actually on just made a pass on the 17 car. I don't recall if he's pitted yet or not.
The 17 car has pitted, and it looks like...
Oh, we got the 42 car around on the back stretch.
Oh, yes.
We have an incident.
Yellow flag.
Got the 48 diving off deep. Showing a little wrinkle on his nose, so hopefully there's not too many guys damaged after that. We don't have a caution, though. We're still under green flag conditions here, it looks. To me, anyway.
Right, Jason Kemper in that 88 car doing a great job so far. Just outside of the top 5, running the 6th position. And Fluffy, our pole sitter, he's actually fallen back all the way out to 7th. That's his teammate, Marcus Edub, running along, I believe, in the 5th position.
Yeah, he's in the number 6, the white and blue number 6 here. Yes, I'm going to pull up Keffer's onboard stream here, and let me see what exactly position he's sitting in and how close we're getting to the end of stage 1 here.
Excuse me, this is a battle for 4th. Looks like Jason Keffer will get around the 6 car, who gave way to both his teammate and, the 42 car. You're right. There is something wrong. The 14 of Jay Hyper is off the pace. He might just be getting up to speed after a late pit stop right there. But the 42 car is limping. That's Pat's ace. Is he out of fuel in turn number 4?
I don't know. I hope he wasn't stretching it right there at
that would be an odd issue. That car is very, very slow. That tells me that either there's something with his race car. If you're on a wheel, maybe something's disconnected, but it looks like he's able to steer it, so I don't think that would be an issue. That, to me, tells me that he is out of fuel, and that's bizarre there, Will. I don't think anybody would try and stretch it that far.
No, just hopes that he's maybe having some internet issue and it's not something, he didn't try to stretch it or anything. I'm trying to figure it out right now. I'm trying to get on JRM Keffer's screen. having a little bit of an issue. Don't know why. I promise I'm subscribed.
Jason's running along in the 4th position right now, having a great run in front of Fluffy. At the stripe, we have 8 laps to go, and the 42 car does get on pit road. We'll see if he returns back up to speed. But he is numerous laps down. That is Pat's ace.
Yeah, and I'm able to get right here, extra careful on board. As I'll read out right here. We got Job running second. The 95 car is out front. We got Job second. The 19 of Bags third. JR and Captain with a good run, putting that number 88 Hot Rod in fourth. Got our pole sitter Fluffy riding in fifth, and Marcus Ito bringing up the outside of the top 5 right there. Trying to keep that momentum from yesterday.
Take a look there, Will. Your pick already up to second place, and we mentioned the most winningest number in NASCAR history at this racetrack began with that 24 car. Jeff Gordon has piloted that number to 5 victories here at Indy. Good Jobs get his first win of the season here at PRCS at such a historic racetrack.
I don't know. I'm glad that 24 car is looking as sporty as, that was my dark horse pick. But that 95 seems to have brought a lot of speed to the racetrack. Maybe he didn't concentrate as much on the qualifying setup as he did putting that thing out in the race setup. He stretched the field. He's probably got about a 200-yard lead right here on the 24 as they're diving it off.
The 3-car C. Workman on pit road. I did see him with earlier damage. He might have pitted early, but not able to stretch it. He will also go a lap down, looks like, to the leaders. Coming to 5 to go, this time by. And the field spread out. If you're one of these drivers that are in mid-pack here, what information are you using as you ride around the racetrack in order to put it to good use in stage 2?
You just try to learn your lessons from stage 1 here. Try to figure out how you can tune that thing up in the pits. Maybe you're a little loose, maybe you're overdriving the corner. Maybe you just need to back the turn up a little bit, give yourself an extra couple clicks of wedge, play good in that draft. 42, I don't know, he's underpowered now. He's looking really sporty as he comes around the inside of the number 8 car. It looks like he did bring some speed. Maybe he didn't bring a big enough gas tank here to Indy, but he definitely brought some speed.
That was a bizarre scene. We don't often talk about somebody running out of gas, and so early here at Indy, one of, I guess you could say, the hurdles that you have to overcome of being an eSport driver is that there is no crew, there is no crew chief, there's no spotter, it's just you on the race car, but there is information available to you. I'm not quite sure why the 42 car ran out of fuel right there.
Yeah, maybe he was just impact racing and thought he could make it. A lot of people forget that maybe you can try that fuel when it drops to 0 on a shorter racetrack, but this was one of the longest racetracks we go to besides Talladega, I believe, in Daytona. So this is definitely one of the big ones. And it's a long way around this thing, especially as flat as it is. Maybe you can't keep as much momentum up. I wouldn't have tried to stretch that thing. I'm definitely coming down with 1 lap left.
Battle here heating up for 4th place. Jason Teffer has it, but Fluffy wants it. Are we surprised that we haven't been able to see the 17 car move up to the pack after that earlier mistake?
I don't know how they do it on this one. I know on Heat 4, once you hit the wall, you can repair your race car under pit flag conditions, yes, but it does knock a tenth off of your car after you get your car all souped back up and take it back together. So maybe he doesn't have quite as much speed as he had earlier on. Maybe that's going to play a factor in how this thing pans out here coming to the end of stage 1.
And I don't think we talk about that a lot there. The damage model on this game, very different considering that we didn't have that back in NASCAR Heat 3. You could get away with a lot more of an issue than what we're seeing here, but that was significant contact for the 17 car, and we have not been able to see our pole sitter really rebound since that issue.
Yes, we have the number 40 actually coming around the number 9 car as Dohar makes his debut here on the PlayStation side in one of our premier cup groups that we have here. I don't know, man. That 9 car looks kind of sporty as he's sticking his nose out on the backside. Maybe they're not going to work together at all. But yeah, we have the 48 car trying to get him towed right here. He's got BC Racer Kid, our defending champion. He's got him behind him, so maybe these guys can work up and get 4 cars going together and run down some of these guys up front.
Running order as they run: Bear still out front, Jobs in second place, the 19 of Bags in third, Jason Keffer still holding on to fourth, but Fluffy really wants it in fifth, just outside the top 5. You have the 6 car, Marcus E-Dub, who's having a great run so far in that number 6 Ford Fenway machine. And then a couple of cars just outside of our frame, again fighting for 7th on back. It'll be the white flag for stage 1 going in the air as Bear crosses the stripe now. See Jobs a distant 2 seconds behind. And here comes the battle.
Right now, we got Fluffy actually coming around for the second
outside.
Position. He tries to pass the 88 and the 19 on the outside there.
He did.
As the 19 goes to the inside, he checks up. He didn't want none of that 3 wide going into turn 2 there.
Oh, 19 car trying to gather it up. He's going to lose the spot outside of the top 5. Here comes the 6 car, Marcus E-Dub to take advantage. Fluffy to the high side to take third. And Jason Tepper still settling in the 4th position. All eyes are on the 95, though, as he will come off the corner. If we get to hopefully in time. Lots of people in this race.
I'm glad I don't have to do the camera.
Woo, there he is. We were able to get him. Stage 1 winner.
The 6 car Bear coming off the turn. He saves it, gathers it up. Your top 5 is Bear winning stage 1 here at Indy, followed by Fluffy in the 17. Good recovery after he smacked the outside wall. Third will be JRM Keffer. Actually, 4th will be Keffer. He finished ahead of him.
Yep.
There's somebody we're missing here.
Third, Fluffy. Keffer, 4th. Marcus E-Dub is 5th.
95-24.
And the rest of the field getting JRM. Getting some stage points right there. Justin Mons and Max Booth and BC Racer Kid. Those are all that were able to get some point-paying positions in that first stage.
Yeah, that 40 car is looking good at his debut here. As a number 9 gets stage points, well-needed points. As these guys, we close down and get deeper on in the season, and you know this is a heck of a points battle, especially with the type of race cars we have coming out here each and every week. You can be a 10th off and actually be running in the back around these guys. They don't play the radio. Get the green flag start here.
Bear
95 looks good.
Into turn number 1, they are side by side, and as we saw, it won't take long for this field to get strung out. The time to get any position is now. Here comes Fluffy taking a look underneath the 24 car.
That 19 of Voltage, he looks really sporty with those 4 fresh tires. He fell off right there at the end of the run. Maybe he just checked up, lost all his momentum. Looking to see who's gonna take control of this lead pack right here, and who's gonna run down that 95 as he starts to stretch his legs out here.
If you noticed there in that shot, you saw the 95 car get all the way on the backstretch really low, heading into turn number 3. Oh, contact between the 24 and the 17 car. 17 car looks like he's going to muscle his way to second place. Here comes the 6 car, his teammate right behind him. It's a Voltage in that 19 car. It's a Hornet's Nest for second place on back. All this happening in the 95 truck trying to get away.
Yeah, he is. These guys need to get single file really quick. That 2 wide can kill them.
Oh, in the wall. The 9 car bounces it off back into traffic. Here comes everyone taking evasive action underneath. More contact in the back of the pack. Oh, and around the 8 and the 9. That's going to be a yellow flag. Caution. Out for a grinding crash on the back stretch. We saw it all happen with the 9 car. Get out of shape. And then that loss of momentum. People trying to avoid, bob and weave. It didn't work out for everyone.
Yeah, you really hate to see it, but now you're going to see a little bit of strategy plays. Some people's going to come down and get those 4 fresh tires. Some of them are going to stay out and play the track position game, as we know. I don't know if we've got deep enough into stage 2 that actually they can take a 4 tire and fill up with fuel and make it to the end, Alex. I think we might have a couple tires though.
Well, you say you hate to see it, but for 17 other competitors that don't have the 95 on the side of their car, I think they love to see it because now they're going to be able to try and make something happen here. And I believe we see strategy come to play. You see the Roush Fenway cars, Marcus Edub in the 17 car taking the lead away from the 95. Perhaps only 2 tires going on those machines. I believe the rest of the field taking 4. Those involved in the crash already getting service and starting in the back. Green flag is back out. Marcus Edub, your leader.
Yeah, I can just hear that party going right now. Marcus, I bet he's quiet as a mouse up there running on the point. He's got all these hot shots behind him. Everybody's hungry for the leads. We see that 17 trying to push that 6 out to a good lead as he dives off in the inside.
Fluffy making his move to the inside of his teammate there. 6 car, just grazing the wall out of turn 3, but up to speed. Here comes the 95 car. Still side by side for the lead out of turn 4. Wow, which lane do you block? Rush hour at over 180 miles an hour. They scream down the front stretch here at Indy.
Yeah, that inside line is still the preferable line. I'd hate to be on that outside. Somebody gets loose on that inside, gets up in your pocket, pushes you out to the wall. We can see as that 9 car outside the top 5 actually worked his way all the way to the back with that incident, brushing the wall a couple times going down the track.
I don't know how he did it, but the 95 car got around both Roush Fenway cars and took it to the lead on the front stretch. Keep in mind, he has 4 tires versus those guys on 2, which we believe Fluffy and the 6 car both took 2.
Well, actually, this game will throw you around a little bit. You could actually gain up to 3 positions in the pits, or you could actually lose up to 3. I haven't seen more than that, and as with the 4 tire stop, that's something they're doing a little different. You know, last year if you pitted in 4th, you was probably coming out in 4th. But...
And that is, Joe hits the wall out of turn 2. Excuse me, turn 1. Marcus Edub pounds the wall out of turn number 2.
It looks to be a lot of that coming out of here. A couple of these guys. Everybody needs to settle down. It's still early going here in the race. We're about midway through stage 2 here. You know that 3rd stage is where you're going to learn of the comers and goers.
Trouble in front. That was our rookie, the 40 car, and the 21. Slight contact. Everyone else doing a great job to get around them, but the 40 car
worked pretty
wild ride.
Got the number 19 Bags, gets it off into turn 1 there to take the lead over the 95, pushes back to 3rd. Fluffy's still in that 17, coming hard on the 19.
What happened to the 95 car for him to lose that much position and allow the 19 to get out to the front for the first time today? And here comes the 17 car who's been trying to rebound from that earlier issue in stage 1.
We're 3 wide again as the 95 dives it off on the inside there. Really aggressive move as the 17 comes up into the 17. They all hold it.
That's a lot of trust in your competitors. That's a lot of trust in your race car right there from the 95.
But
17 car
job out of the top 4.
Taking a look underneath again. Now they're single file. That's allowed the 88 car to also sniff the draft and come to play. And look at that Hendrick brigade he's bringing with him.
Yeah, he is. Them guys are coming hard in suit there. I don't know if they're going to keep trying that 3 wide. It was an ultra aggressive move for stage 2, but all those guys made it work, man. And you know just as I do, more than 2 cars side by side is a fit on this racetrack.
Man, the only car that we've really truly been able to point his car where he wants to and grab the lead is the 95 car. And these guys are still side by side heading into turn number 3. I thought that would allow the 95 car to get away, but there must have been some type of mistake. He might have made a mistake that allowed him to get caught back up in the frantic finish to try and get back to him. I'm sure.
I don't know. I'm glad they spread out a little bit because I can just imagine the nervous energy of whipping these things around here at almost 200 miles an hour throughout the whole time you're on the speedway here. Nose to tail, side by side, 3 wide. Great racing, it's good for us, but I'd hate to be them.
You know, I get this feeling, and not from talking with them or anything like that, but the 95 car, you know, we always talk about the 17, fluffy and everything. But the 95 has put together some really, really great races. You can never count that guy out, and I think he's proving that here today once again.
Yeah, Barry, he's actually an esports driver. Everybody that's been continuously watching here at midnight but yeah, he builds his own stuff. He's one of the fastest guys. You look at the leaderboard, and he's on top of about every leaderboard there is on heat 3, heat 4. Definitely a competitor you have to watch for week in, week out. He definitely brings the speed to the racetrack. And as you've seen earlier, he's not scared to put that car in tight spots and make it work.
Well, his closest competitor right now is that 17 car. They have been the class of the field. They put a little bit of distance in front of that second pack, which is 75% Hendrick Motorsports right now.
That 48 car of Max Boost, which is Saab Max, you can go check him out. He's got a YouTube channel. But that's Saab Max, that 48 car. He's looking really sporty on the long run here. He's trying to stick that 48 car, that cool Army paint job. He's trying to stick that thing in the top 5 for the first time tonight. Oh, we got one off, I think it's Marcus Edub. Green flag pit stop.
Green flag pit stop might be out, and I was just about to say that they are now just inside their window. So we might be seeing these leaders go in.
DWH is actually coming off the pit road right now, so we actually missed one hitting pit road, but maybe the green flag stops are about to start right now.
You know, before that happens, I will say one of my favorite, you know, you think of memories here at Indy. I, myself, I'm taking the commentator out. I'm an avid 48 hater. I've not liked him. I respect him. I think he's a great champion and everything. But one of the best moments I've ever thought I saw at Indy was Jimmy Johnson in 2017 blowing up while going for the lead at the same time. I had to tip my hat. That was the coolest thing I have ever seen. I see the 19 go on the pit road right there, making his green flag pit stop. But if you remember that they were 3 wide. That was Casey Kane, Keselowski, and Johnson heading to turn 3. And he blew up and took the lead at the same time. That was amazing.
Yeah. As we actually have the number 19 coming down to take the green flag stop here.
First of the leaders right now.
Wonder why the other guys are thinking, why they haven't come down yet. Think we're going to have some stretchers? Some people's going to
maybe some people will decide to take only 2 tires. Since that earlier caution, you don't need to go as far. We do restart here, or the next time we come to the line, I'll give you a lap count. But 4 tires of Sunoco fuel are going on, and it looks like
95 and 17 coming in a little hot. They get into each other. Hopefully, neither one of those get a penalty. You hate to see the front runners, get a
big penalty. Yeah, and it actually looked like the 24 car did everything in his power to make sure he did not get a penalty. He got passed by the 88 and the 48 getting onto pit road. Let's check back up front with the 95 and the 17 to make sure that they did not get a penalty because they were kind of hot.
Yeah, I'll go to them on pit road right here. I'll let you know what's going on. Number 19, first one with a fresh set of tires. Let's see if he can get out there, get on the point, maybe stretch that lead a little bit. But it looked like he got on and off pit road very good.
Looks like no harm, no foul.
Down in the way. Yep.
Both those guys are on. That's how good they are getting up to speed and off the gas to get on pit road. Keep in mind, you guys need to be on the access road for turn 1 and turn 2.
Yeah, and coming off of turn 4 on old tires is already rough enough. But getting those cars low down out of the draft speed. Oh, we got Barry getting in a little bit of the grass.
He did right there. Look what 2-lap difference could do on tires. Here comes the 19 car. He was 2 seconds back. He made that all up and more. He's looking for the lead heading to turn 3.
Yeah, he checked up a little bit on the inside to make sure he didn't get into that 95 car. But as you said, it made up a 2-second lead that he had. We'll see how good he can get in this draft. Maybe that 17 looks to be a little slowed up behind the 19. Maybe they can work together and get up here to this 95. I think the 95 is class of field so far.
He's proved it so long. Now, keep in mind, if things should cycle back out, the 95, the 19, and the 17 cars, those will be your lead pack. That is not our lead pack currently. Right now, it is the 40 car. He has not visited pit road yet, and so the 40 is actually our leader.
That's Dohar coming over here from Xbox. Runs in the East Spark series, I believe it's called, and actually he's one of the AKA members over there. But yeah, maybe he's going to come over here and stretch that fuel. He does what they call tractor years, so he might have that long run figured out. He might be popping him on the pamper here at MBN, his first debut here in the 40 car.
Wow. And right now, as they run, he has all but 11 cars on the lead lap. So that would be quite the stretch. And, to be honest, something that we did not even think about if anybody wanted to perhaps try and stretch the fuel. That's still about, you take off 3 laps. We restarted there with 22 laps, 3 laps for the caution, 6 laps still to go. That's a pretty long distance to try and coast, but we'll see if the 40 car can do it.
I definitely think he took a chance out here tonight in his debut, but man,
if anything, he's getting TV time, which is just as important. These guys that are on esports as it is in the real world. But I see the 40 car. Yep, he's got to bail on that strategy. I didn't think he could make it. Nicely down pit road. And Jaron Dohar from Xbox will bring that 40 to pit lane.
Check on Jefferson's I guess the leaders now will be back to the Bear in the 95 car, the 17 of Fluffy, and the 19 of Voltage. We'll get back to those guys and see what's going on.
95 able to get around the 19. Actually, the 19 never was able to get around the 95, but the 17 was able to get around the 19 as well. Everybody now back on the lead lap, and your leader is the 95.
Yeah, Dohar was able to get down the way, no penalty, no harm, no foul. Oh, we got the 95 hard now outside the wall. Maybe he's going to let that 17 make up a little bit of ground with that. Doesn't look to be.
I'm sorry, did you say the 95?
The 95 got in the wall a little bit.
I did not see that.
But he didn't really, no harm, no foul. It looked worse than what it was on the screen, actually, because 17 hasn't actually not made up much ground at all. So,
and you have to wonder there, like you said earlier, Will, did that little bit of damage, him not being able to have a 100% perfect car, did that give the damage and end the chance of the 17 car from getting in front of this 95? Because we've not seen Fluffy been able to return back to the lead.
Yeah, I don't want to say a specific number, but Fluffy sent me a message earlier where he actually got down in the 49s. I think it was 49.7. He was able to run. So that was probably low fuel. So I put a little bit back on that. It's probably a 50.1 that he can run just flat out. So put an extra tenth on that with the damage. So that car is capable, well capable of running up front. So that 95 must be putting some hell of lap times down to keep that 17 behind him.
Let's ride on board with the 17 car and see if we can see exactly where he can make up some time, and listening to a broadcast there, we can actually hear where he's on the break. Because right now we're 3 laps to go. And Will,
the 95, that 95 car is making some aggressive moves coming down the back stretch there, actually front stretch, to try to make sure he keeps that 17 sucking up under him.
Wow, it almost cost him right there on exit.
Yes,
and in fact, the 17 car is going to get a good run. Let's see what he does with it. You see the car get tight. A lot of competitors talk about how once you get right up to the back bumper of another person's car, your car doesn't act like what it did with clean air on the front nose. Your car does get a little bit harder to handle with that pocket of air.
Yes, some cars definitely do that. A little suspect in the draft.
They're coming to two to go, and taking a look to the inside is the 17 of Fluffy. He timed that perfectly. Can he time the pass? Looks like Bear's going to give it to him.
Yeah, Bear didn't want to be on that outside coming out of turn one going into turn two right there. That was a very smart move on the 95. No harm, no foul. He lived to play another day. He probably already incurred a little bit of damage getting into the outside wall by running a little odd line. He gets a hell of a run on that 17 though. He's going to stick his nose down the inside and make it count.
Trying to side draft there, slow him down. Ooh, contact that's going to send the 17 car wide up the racetrack. Looked like the 95 car wanted to take him wide right there. As a competitor, you don't want to give the 17 car the chance to come back on the outside lane, but they made contact, and that actually is going to hurt the 17 car. I don't think he can make up that position with one lap to go, but we'll see. The white flag for stage 2.
Yeah, I think that incident solidified the finishing order there at stage 2. But 17, don't forget, he made a run down the backstretch last time, going off in turn 3 and 4, and able to make up ground and get a run on him coming down the front stretch.
Lap traffic ahead, though, that could also help the 17 car. They'll give way. That's C. Workman in that 3 machine.
He pulls down to the inside, gets well out of the way, lets the two guys fight it out. Smart move by number 3.
Oh, the 17 car sailed it in there, actually got to the back bumper, able to touch it, but I don't think it's going to be enough. One more final corner, turn 4.
This exact spot he was in a while ago when he come down and made that push on the inside. I don't think he's going to make it work this time. That 95 looks like he's going to be able to finish out stage 2 as the winner here.
Stage 1 and stage 2 in the books here for PRCS. It's the Brickyard 400 falls under caution for just the 3rd time today. 17 car, Fluffy, you have to wonder, does he put that in the memory bank? Do we see push come to shove later in this race? Was that just a racing incident, do you believe, or was there something behind that move?
I think it may be a little frustration. Those guys, they've raced around each other week in, week out throughout the Pro League, throughout the qualifiers, the esports, everything. So there's actually a bunch of camaraderie, a lot of good energy around these guys. They really like to race each other really hard. But these may be 2 of the fastest guys on the PlayStation side right here battling it out. As we're under stage in caution here.
C. Workman with the first car, 1 lap down. He will be awarded the free pass.
We got Keffer in 7th, DWH in 8th, BC Racer Kid in 9th, JRM Keffer 10th, Sloppy Joe, Diesel, Marcus E. Dove. That's about as quick as I read.
The 3rd and final stage for PRCS here at Indy, about to be underway. Bear has led them all.
Don't look now, but we got a newcomer here in the top 5s at 21, Slade Gravitt. Actually sticking his nose down there with 21.
40 car also from Xbox, JRM. Dohar having a great run. He finished 7th in that 2nd stage. He's been able to collect some stage points here today.
Yeah, last week here in our Grand National race, Dohar was actually able to win a stage, his first debut here at midnight. We got a couple getting into the outside wall there. It looked like 17 and 19 falling in. That's something you got to watch out for, Alex. Sometimes you can be zoned in so hard on the guy in front of you that sometimes, the proper way you're supposed to race the racetrack. But sometimes you get a little complacent. You get your eyes set on that car in front of you. He goes into the outside wall. You might follow him in there too. So
I've seen that, and I have been a part of that. That is very true. It seems like a competitor's mistake somehow becomes your mistake, just following his racing line.
Following the leader. As we've got the 88 car looking really sporty, trying to get back into that top 5 back there. And 48 still sticking his nose around. At 24, looks like those guys can't get away from each other.
17 car sails it in there. They're trying to get to the back bumper of the 95 once again. It's almost a 3-car breakaway at the front of the field. 19 just tagging along. Ooh, a little loose off the corner there, and here comes the 17 car with a run, but no drafting help. They'll have the preferred line heading into turn 1, and Fluffy back to the point.
Yeah, that 17 and the number 19 as well. They look really, really sporty with those fresh tires. The 95 definitely brought the long run machine out here. Yeah, Dohar is actually in top 5. He's in 4th right now.
He's the top bow tie right now as they run, and he leads the Hendrick Brigade that's just outside of the top 5. All 3 Hendrick cars right there running along in 5th, 6th, and 7th. Jobs looked like he had an earlier car that could contend for the win, but right now he hasn't had the track position or the speed inside that race car to get back up to the front.
Yeah, that's the thing. These guys bring really fast machines here. I think probably 6 or 8 of these cars can win it any week here. You know. Got the 17, the 95, and the 19 actually drafted a pretty big lead on the 4th place car for number 40.
Some of the other guys that we haven't talked much about today, including Marcus Edub, who at one point was having a great run, restarted there on a strategy call with the lead, but now looks like Handling's gone away on that race car, and he is well in the back of the pack. Running along as well with DWH. And the 3 is C. Workman. C. Workman did get that free pass one lap ago. We saw earlier nose damage on that machine. He was involved in an incident on the first stage.
There's so much pressure. Run good, as I said. Some of the guys that actually have a front running car. You take our last place finisher, could be 4 laps down. You throw him in the public lobby, and he's everybody's daddy. So you got these guys chasing these cars all night, trying to just find that little edge, that little extra coming off the corner. You know, maybe that little bit of piece of tape for that long run, that little tire pressure exchange, just to make that thing just come alive. Sometimes it can get away from them. Sometimes you go the wrong way chasing the racetrack. It looks to be the scene what the number 6 ended up doing is hopefully he can get that car fixed back on the pit road condition, get back up here and run with these guys.
The 95 car has returned back to his rightful place up front, but the 19 has now been able to get up to 2nd, and the 17 has fallen back to 3rd. We have 23 laps remaining here at Indy, and that will include a pit stop. These guys can make it on a full fuel run of 13. I dare say we might even have 2.
Yeah, you may see maybe a little splash and go there at the end. I would be really surprised to see if one of these 3 competitors have been running all night, the 95, the 19, and the 17, if one of those guys don't bring the checkered home. Maybe Dohar with those tractor gears over from the Xbox, maybe he can squeak something out, pit once. Maybe this race isn't over yet.
Couple of cars that are out of the race, self-expand in the 11 car. 42 of Pat's ace, as well as the 43 who lagged out on the very first lap.
Yeah, you hate to see it, especially bringing a little momentum from winning the All-Star event last week. He actually won the Open. A little messy start at the Open, but he wasn't class in the field. Brought a real sporty hot rod. And actually was able to carry that momentum over and actually win from the Open in the All-Star race and then lag it out tonight in the first lap. You got the 95 hard in the outside wall coming out of 4 once again. You got to think, man, that car is awful fast, but I think he's killing the long run speed on folding that thing up on that right side out.
Oh, and we know what it's like to hit the wall.
Yeah.
And to have an issue here at Indy, you don't just get right back into the rhythm. It does take you a second to regroup. Even if it is a video game, you can lose focus. And that loss of momentum, he's doing a great job to keep those guys behind him. Talk about this 40 car, though. Making your first debut, you're leading the second pack. That's essentially not the leaders. How good is it to feel, Xbox, that you're this competitive here with these guys in midnight?
Well, he's one of the faster guys from over there, including Garbage and a couple other guys. that run Xbox. So definitely, he's got to be feeling pretty good to come over here with this stacked PlayStation side. You know, we've got 50 competitors that can put up ungodly numbers at any time here, at any track here on the PlayStation side. So he's got to be feeling pretty good to be running this good the first debut here. The big guns here at midnight.
Less than 20 to go here at the Brickyard 400, presented to you on NASCAR Heat 4 for the PRCS Racing League. Up front, it has been the 95, who's led the most laps today, but the 19 and 17 car have been hot on his trail.
Yeah, we see
it could come down to a pit stop.
Yeah, I'm thinking that we have enough time left and maybe a little strategies in the play. Dohar really couldn't stretch it as far as we thought he maybe could at the end of stage 2. As you know, he actually led some laps and ran up front for a few laps there at the end of stage 2. I don't know, man. It's hard to call it right now. I'd hate to think that one of these three guys without a mistake couldn't win this race. But I think it's yet to see what's going to exactly go on here. We have getting a little bit closer to those green flag stops here.
And we saw what an advantage it was to pit early. However, keeping that advantage, that is another matter. The 19 car was able to get up to the leaders, but because he had used his tires up so early, he was really unable to do anything once he got to it.
Well, being in a draft pack, that's everything. You can take two of these cars, put them out there against one, throw one on the backstretch, and those two cars are eventually going to catch that one car by itself. Don't matter how strong it is. So being able to use strategy, pit a little early, get up there in that lead pack,
I believe we're under yellow.
Made it work.
We are under yellow here, just as I was going to say when the average yellow flag has come out, and are we done seeing the yellow flag? But the yellow has come out. That leaves us on the track with 15 laps to go. That's just outside of our fuel window, and that could be interesting because that you theoretically might be able to save 2 laps here if you are on a clutch and wheel setup.
Yeah, and that's actually going to play in the hands of the JRM Junior Motorsports camp, the Hendrick camp there, the 40 car of Dohar, and actually the 88, which is actually using the clutch and the gear shift. As the 95, let's not forget about him, as he's got a real fast race car on the point here, but he's actually got a clutch and gear set up also. So I think we're going to see an interesting thing here. As we're underway, the 17 pulls down behind the 95. The 95 goes high. 17 might stick his nose down. No, they're going to file out single file here. 40 stuck on the outside as the 24 forces his way up into the running pack with these guys. He's not going to get left this time.
Here comes the 24, Job muscling his way inside. He wants to keep in touch with his lead pack as the front three once again continue to use the 95, the 17, and the 19. Back behind the 24 is the 40 car who was left on that outside lane. They are single file snaking down the backstretch, all up to speed now currently in turn number 3. Next time by at the stripe, 14 laps to go, and the 17 car! Big hit out of turn 3. Fluffy losing positions as we speak. He's out of top 5, almost heading to outside of top 10.
That outside wall has been a nightmare for some of these guys that run a loose setup. Once you're in that draft pack, once you stick your nose out, maybe you don't turn as quick as the guy in front of you, get that fresh air on your nose, push you right to the wall. But I was about to say before that happened, with all these guys single file, almost 14 deep single file, I'd hate to see that leaderboard as this race continues right here. I guarantee you that we've got the top 10 of all time right here with these midnight guys just all over that board today.
You have to wonder if there was some noticeable damage on the 17 car. He is definitely outside of the top 10 right now, and he's going to need the yellow flag to come out almost immediately. Now, if you're the 17 car, do you try and make your way through the pack? Do you try to kind of feel it through? Do you pit right here? Because we do know that not a lot of these competitors can make it, if anyone.
Yeah, definitely you do have that in your back. Oh, the 24 gets into the 19, pushes him up into the outside wall. He was able to take control of it, keep it down. Not any damage. And the 40 car looks really good on the inside right there.
More contact in the back pack as well. The 9 and the 1 get into it. Here comes the 17 car, Fluffy, and once you find yourself in the pack, you find yourself in places you don't want to be. He was right smack dab in the middle of the issue between the 9 and the 1.
Oh, we got the 88 getting a little loose in the 19 because his nose. They're able to keep it together. I don't know the number 8. The number 8 stuck it in there anyway. Glad to see that. He called the caution. Yeah, a lot of these guys, man, a lot of them that maybe don't get to run up front with these guys all the time. Maybe they don't bring as much speed to the racetrack. They are a lot more aggressive as you get deeper on the back of the pack. Every position means something to these guys. The top 5 sometimes equals a win for some of these competitors that maybe not East Coast competitors. So you got to put that into as you actually see that 17 having a little bit of trouble in the back of the pack. He's actually in front of that 9 car, see if they can work together. Maybe they can catch these front pack here. Top 6, 7 cars.
He's now trailing that large second pack, which is 6 cars deep, and led by the 24 Jobs. The 19 has fallen back as well. So you had 2 of the 95's closest competitors with a bad restart in less than 10 laps to settle it. However, we do know not a lot of these competitors can save fuel. When you're racing like this, there's no one saving fuel right now.
No, I'd hate to think anybody's saving fuel.
2 laps to go.
Could get you ran over right here.
And these guys, or excuse me, 9 laps to go. These guys are going to be 2 laps short on fuel.
I think that we may be right outside of that window. I don't think they're quite 2 laps short. I think some of them are right there on the outside of that window, maybe on that cusp of running out, coming out of turn 4.
It's going to be, we restarted with 15 laps to go, and a full fuel run is 13. So, it is going to be, it's going to be tough. And even on the times 2, or excuse me, times 3. That's going to be even tougher for these guys to do that, because saving fuel, what you've been able to do maybe on times 2 is not going to work for time 3, because you're using the fuel and tire wear rate are so much more than what you would do to save fuel on times 2 or definitely times 4.
And we're going to see a lot of these cars that's trimmed out with speed that maybe don't have the right gear but found enough speed throughout the gears, trimming them out. They're definitely going to be searching for a pit road here in a few more laps, knowing that they can't make the end. But I think you're going to be surprised. There's going to be a couple guys out throughout the field that maybe they're sitting a little better than some of those other guys.
So just like we learned in stage 1, we were talking about splitting the stage, and we saw these guys pit in 12 and 12. Would you do that necessarily here for this last run to the finish? You do know that you can't make it. Well, it looks like these guys are just scraping the wall at it. Turn number 1 right there.
They're getting really close, man.
Do you decide to split the stage, and even so, I'll dare say, take 2 tires that allows you to use more tires and perhaps use that to your advantage against those that stay out on older set of tires? You're making up that much more time.
I think it all depends on where exactly you're running at. I doubt to see one of these guys in this lead pack up here, excluding the Bears, which he's in a racetrack of his own right here. He's got a big lead. But I'd hate to see one of those top 6 competitors come down and do that. Maybe Fluffy on back, maybe they'll hit pit road. I don't think you're going to see a tire stop, though. I think you're going to see a splash and go. Splash and go is 3 seconds on pit road, plus the time it takes to actually get to your pit spot. Let's not forget about that. You take tires, you're going to lap down, definitely. One of these guys might be able to make it, so I don't think that's going to be a choice you want to go with. I think we just might see the guys that have to come down and just take a splash and continue.
I do believe that's probably the case, but these guys are going to be on extra worn tires, so not only do you have the fact that you're going to be on the pit road with no fuel, but now you're going to have to get new fuel and you're going to have worn tires. So tires are going to be outside of that fuel window as well.
Coming 5 to go right now, Alex. So what do you do if you're in one of these race cars?
Well, I think, like you said, I think these guys are all, they've got to give each other room getting onto pit road. And you're going to need to, what do you call it, make sure that you take whatever your competitors are taking in order to, you know, have a chance. If you take 2 tires now, I think we're past that window where you wouldn't be able to make up that much time.
Yeah, you know, I just hate to see one of them take tires. I think there's a lot of guys out there that are really hungry for a good finish here at midnight. They're going to throw caution to the wind, as you know that they got the skills to pay the bills, so they're not going to be worried about it too much, Alex. Oh, we got a 95, gets an outside wall, brushes a little bit, and damn, he's still got a heck of a lead.
He does, but it wasn't as comfortable as it was just 1 lap ago. In fact, Jones has been able to reel in. Now, if you're one of these guys that are running second and third, do you short pit? Do you think maybe being by yourself those final laps in the 24 car, ooh, touches the apron? Man, the 40 car had to get out of the gas.
Yeah.
When do you decide to pit? Because if you're only going to take a splash and go, you can theoretically take that at any point. Is it better to work yourself in the draft or use...
You definitely want to be in the draft.
You want to be
definitely do. Yeah. But I don't think that nobody's going to take that chance, Alex. I think everybody's going to try to see if they can't finish this thing out. As I think we're deep on the cusp of not pitting right now. So, yeah, if we come down, we got 4 to go right here. I don't think we're going to see any takers on pit road this lap anyway. Me, myself, if I was one of the guys deep in the back of the field, maybe I'd bring it down, get a little splash.
Well, it's 5 laps to go. We're riding on board with Jason Kevin. There was 5 laps to go this time by, and he has 4 laps of fuel, so he is not going to be able to make it on fuel. I believe it's going to come down to this. It looks like the 95 car almost looked like he was wiggling right there. Is he laying off? Let's see if we can get up to him. The 21 Slade is on pit road.
And he's one of those, the 95 car is one of those guys that actually runs a clutch and a gear shift.
He might be doing exactly that.
He may be saving fuel.
Trying to, as the 24 car gets around him. Jones to the lead. 4 laps to go. Who has enough fuel? Who doesn't?
Man, this is going to be a hell of a finish coming down here to the nitty-gritty like this. You see the 40 car actually pushing up against the back of the 95.
Trying to save it, clutching it in. It's the 95. Jobs now to the point. Here comes the 19 and the 40 car. Roadblock. The 95 trying to use all the racetrack while saving all the fuel he can in that machine. When you're leading like this, there, Will, you also use a lot more fuel than these guys that were running you down.
Yes, you do. And you're actually setting the pace of the field. It might surprise you, Jobs. He may want to check. Oh, is he
24 is on pit road. I don't know if he got on pit road without speeding right there. There might be a speeding penalty.
Going down the front stretches. We got the 19 looking really sporty coming off.
3 laps to go.
Turn 1 right here. Hell, he might have enough fuel here to finish. We don't know exactly.
The 19 to the point, followed by the 40. The 95 has fallen off the pace, but he's just trying to clutch it and save it. 40 car, excuse me, looks like he's also trying to save it. I believe the 24 car got a speeding penalty right there.
I think the 40 car is in best shape here, and he was able to stretch the fuel as we've seen early going on in this race right here. So I'm going to go ahead and step out on a limb and say if that number 19 runs out of fuel, that 40 car is going to capitalize. I think we're going to see a debut winner here at midnight. Oh,
here the 19 is on the pit road. He's bailing on strategy. 40 car, rookie. Jobs back on the racetrack. 6 car down pit road. The 95 still trying to clutch it and save it. 17 in the 8.
You can't never count the 88 out. He's got that gear shift and that clutch combo too.
He does. He's running along. 2 laps to go.
Jamon stays out as well, so he might have a little decorative.
40 cars out of fuel. The 40 car is out of fuel out of turn 2. Now, JRM Keffer with the advantage.
Man,
how slow can you go? It looks like they're both
out of fuel.
Really slow. My goodness, speeds of upwards of 180 miles per hour. Nobody's using it. The 3-car C. Workman to the outside. He is on the lead lap.
Yeah, as we see.
C. Workman to the point. The white flag is in the win. What a day it would be.
The hell out of some fuel.
Excuse me. It looks like the 40 car is back to the point. C. Workman was a lap down. White flag is out.
Man, oh man.
In his first debut, the 40 car trying to limp it on home. On fumes. Can he make it? One more mile.
I think he's out of fuel. He's out of fuel.
40 car is wiggling it. He's staking it. Here comes Jason Tepper.
Here he comes. He dives it off into turn 3. Going
Justin Mons in the backstretch as well. Jason Tepper trying to bring it on home.
BC Racer Kid still underpowered coming along. We see the number 4 car still underpowered. Oh,
this is insane, incredible.
Oh, shit.
He's wiggling it. Here comes the 4 car, BC Racer Kid. BC Racer Kid across the stripe. Winner at Indy. The Brickyard 400 is his, the champ.
As you seen the 14 car, I don't know if he's lap down or not, but he snuck it by the 88 before they hit the
Stuart
stripe
Haas
as well.
Racing had not been there at all the entire race, and the last lap, BC Racer Kid and Jay Hyper score a 1-2 finish.
And I would like to say that the 4th place car, DWH, and the number 1 car, he was actually one of the first cars to come down under that green flag circumstance to take his pit. So maybe that panned out for him. Maybe he wasn't saving as much, didn't have to worry about being off the gas as much as some of those other guys. Man, oh man, what a finish here tonight.
BC Racer Kid led a total of 1 lap. The most
and
important
not even a full
run.
lap.
And Jay Hyper keeps Stuart Haas Racing back-to-back in midnight. Smoke Fan last year, BC Racer Kid this year. Wow, I am so excited because for the first time this season, I'll get to talk to our champ.
All right, here, let's get these guys in the booth here. Got BC Racer Kid, the winner here.
Fluffy round off in 17th, the 95 car, not even inside the top 10. Have to feel for Bear there.
Jay Hyper with a hell of a finish, though. We haven't seen him up here since the Atlanta race, I think week 2 here at midnight. So
and that was also won by BC Racer Kid. Can you believe it?
I can't either. You guys see that coming to the line?
We did get it. We barely, and that's one of the. I'm glad we were able to catch that. We were riding on board with the 88. You just needed. Oh my goodness! If the finish line was moved 500 feet closer, we'd be talking to a different person.
Oh, it's not even that, too, man. I shifted down in turn 3, and I checked what I had for fuel, and it was at 0 entering turn 4. I'm standing on it at this point. It sputtered when I hit the line.
Congratulations, man. That was a hell of a finish, man. You guys made it interesting there at the end.
The champ is able to get it done.
How about that, Copper?
We know you've been wanting it. You had that earlier success at Atlanta, but it's really been kind of a struggle adapting to this new game there, BC Racer Kid. But a win is everybody's medicine. How do you describe your day getting to victory lane here?
If you can't outrun them, you got to outsmart them. That's all I got to say. I didn't have a bad car long run, but I don't know how these guys are finding this short run speed. Because my car, I had to have it so tight so it wasn't wrecking loose on the long run off the start that you just can't do nothing with it until about at least 10 laps left of fuel.
That was good. That last restart that set up that 15-lap dash to the finish, walk it through what was going through your mind in that aspect. Did you know that you needed to save fuel in order to try and beat them, and how early were you saving fuel in that run?
Oh, yeah, I knew you were going to have to save fuel. Really, I didn't start saving until about 7 laps to go, which I did wait a little bit too late. Like I said, I was at 0 coming into turn 4. So that was cutting it pretty close. But I knew they weren't going to make it running the pace that they were. So then I got shuffled out with about, I'm going to say 8 laps to go. So then I just shifted it right up to 4th and let Marcus and them by, and then I just started riding. Them last few laps, I was probably quarter throttle all the way around the track because I was 2 laps short with about, I think it was 4 laps to go. So I really needed to back it down.
Wow. You were able to do it. I mean, and then you already answered, but can you believe it?
No, I did not believe
Will,
that
have you ever?
Yeah, I seen it earlier this year. We was at Atlanta, and he was able to do the same thing. I think he's got this fuel mileage game figured out there at BC. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank
Big
you,
win
guys.
here at Indy, man.
Oh, Atlanta, that was a whole different story. I knew that beforehand that race was going to come down to that. This here, I can't believe it. Wow.
Oh, that's great. That is your defending race champion of PRCS getting another Crown Jewel event to his name. I want to bring in your teammate there, Jay Hyper.
Jay
Hyper, you did not have a car that looked like it should even finish in the top 10, let alone a second-place finish to your teammate there, and Stewart Haas Racing back-to-back wins at Indy for PRCS. Walk us through your day and how you save fuel.
Well, it's pretty simple. We had 4 gears. I made my car only need 3 gears for the race restarts and stuff, and I pretty much ran 4th gear the whole race.
Were you surprised at the end of that race?
Well, about like 5 laps into that final run, Bear comes over to Mike saying that he's good on fuel, and I'm like, yeah, of course you are, buddy. And knew he wasn't close on fuel at all. And then as I'm starting to pass everyone, as everyone's pinning, I'm like, okay, there's another one, and then I was 4th, I think, coming to the white flag, and then I got Dohar and Keffer on the last lap, so...
Well, luck looked like it was beyond your side, but walk us through the race there before we got to that final restart. It looked like it was chaotic in the back of the pack, and a lot of guys that were making mistakes that they just couldn't overcome. How important was track position today?
I mean, you're asking the wrong person. I think I finished 16th in every stage.
Well, but I'm asking you because you were around that and everything.
Yeah,
you were still able. What were some of the hard points of this race today? Why was it so hard?
I mean, it's just the track is so difficult. You have so much draft going on the straightaways. The car gets tight and you're gonna push up. So you gotta have a car that's good on entry. And when you have a good car and good on entry, you're really usually loose on exit. And that's what bit some people here today.
Well, being the champion of last year's Xfinity Series, how's the competition as we haven't been able to speak to you much this year in the Pocono Cup playing with the big boys? How's your experience going so far, and what have you been able to learn to capitalize on, furthering your racing career here at Midnight?
Honestly, I'm just trying to get as many laps as I can against these guys. My first season in Cup. I'm trying not to cause any issues. I don't think anyone really has a big issue with me, so I'm just trying to get my name clean. So.
Well, congratulations on your second place finish, man. Your early Christmas gifts.
Yeah, your best finish of the season so far. And again, a dominant 1-2 finish for Stewart Haas Racing, back-to-back champion of the Brickyard 400. Is the 88 of Jason Keffer? Is he in here?
Yeah, yes, he is.
Jason.
How about that third place, Keffer?
Yeah, I should have been in first place. I made a mistake.
What was the mistake?
I should have started saving a tad sooner. I thought riding around in the draft there was going to save more than it was just to add speed. But once I saw the 95 decide he was going to try to save, I was like, I guess I'll do it too. And then started playing the clutch game, and I should have used the clutch to my advantage sooner. And I didn't, so, it cost me a little bit. I started sputtering going into, I think in the middle of 3 and 4, actually is where it sputtered. So coming out of 4, it was sputtering, and the tires were bad, so I almost wrecked coming out of 4, so I had to save the car halfway down the front stretch towards the pit entry, and I finally got it straight, so I lost a bunch of time there. I think the 4 car probably still beats me to the line, but I should have been able to beat the 14, but I just wish I had started saving a little bit sooner and I may have been able to make it, but I'll take a 3rd.
It looked like it was a track position day trying to get up to the front. You had some moments where we saw you and your teammates actually right around there all running in a line, but it just didn't look like anybody could pass. Was that the case?
It wasn't so much that. I think that we were just trying to, keep a clean race and not get crazy, and then just try to make moves at a certain time. So it's like, all right, hey, once the 19 washes up a little bit, we'll take it, and then we'll all go together. We'll go together. Then the plan was actually before that last caution came out, we were all good to make it on one stop where we think some guys were probably going to need 2. So the plan was to make sure that we make it on that one stop, and then we could battle it out with no fuel worries, to the end and have a race there. But that yellow from the 21 came out at the worst time.
Oh, okay.
So it put us with 15
Slade.
to go.
We were wondering. We didn't see exactly what happened that triggered that yellow.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I just know he said my bad or something, and I heard someone in the back say whatever. But overall, it was a good day. I had a good car. I feel like I had a car that could have got up there and raced. I never really pushed it during the race. But unfortunately, in the second stage, went down pit road. I don't really know what happened, but I was at 49 miles an hour according to my speedometer. But it said I was speeding, so I got a speeding penalty. So I had to come back from 13th. Through the field, but I got back up there pretty quick to Jobs and Saab and Sloppy, and we were able to ride around there for the end for the fuel.
Well, it looked like it just came up just a tiny bit short.
Can't say enough about Dohar. It was nice having him in there. That was pretty cool to have my teammate from the Pro League in the race with me. In the Pro League, it's Xbox, PS4. You never get a race. It was the first time we raced together. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, he looked like he had a sporty car as well.
He did. A lot of guys had really good. I mean, the top. I would say the top 6, 7, 8 cars were actually really fast. And then there was a fall off, I guess. But the top few cars were really fast. I mean, Bear had a fast car, and he was definitely out front, and he probably had one of the best cars. But I definitely think if we had a chance to race it out, it would have been interesting to see how that would have played out.
Cool, yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations there, Jason. Good to see you get a podium finish, though, for a valiant effort. Just so short. If only the finish line got moved just a little bit closer.
Yeah. All right, thanks, man.
No problem. Well, Will, I blame you. You said if one of the top 3 guys, the 19, the 17, or the 95, didn't bring it home today, it'd be quite a shock. I don't think we expected just how much shocking it was.
No, I have to say, though, I was cheating a little bit. I was looking at Keffer's on board, and I was seeing how many laps of fuel he had left. That's when you were sitting there saying that they definitely had 2 laps to go, and I corrected you there, and then I let you go on and say that those guys wasn't going to have enough. I knew it was going to come down to the finish. Hell of a shocker by the SHR camp, BC Racer kid, doing what he does, I guess, here in Midnight, and bringing in tow little brother Jay Hyper as his first year. Glad to see him being our champion from last year. Actually, both of those guys are our champions from last year. But seeing Hyper get a top 3 finish is, not being a pro league guy. We kind of pull for each other, racing against these big guys. So, yeah, we consider BC Racer being an actual champion from last year, being one of the guys that maybe should have made it to the pro league but maybe didn't. So, so he's one of those guys. But, yeah, I'm proud of Hyper, and, good race, man. Hell of a finish.
It was great. And again, Tony Stewart himself would be proud of that valiant effort there. I'm pretty sure he'd be climbing the fence as we've seen him do numerous times himself from winning the Brickyard 400 there twice. But BC Racer Kid, Kevin Harvick, putting the 4 car. The more we imitate Fake Life, the more it stays the same. Kevin Harvick won the Brickyard 400 earlier this year. He did it again on NASCAR Heat 4. So congratulations to BC Racer Kid. That is your champ of the Brickyard 400 on NH4 from all of us here for the PRCS Racing Series. I'm Alex Internet. That's Will. We will see you guys this time again next week, Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to us and all your Midnight Broadcasting Network needs. We'll see you guys once again for another exciting round next week.